Everyone knows the big BBC period dramas, the ones that dominate streaming lists and pop culture conversations. But buried beneath those classics is a forgotten vault of shows that quietly aired then vanished. Lavishly produced, brilliantly written, almost never discussed. Tonight we're opening that vault. These are 15 underrated BBC period dramas you've probably never heard of. Number 15. He Knew He Was Right, 2004. This sharp Victorian drama is not about grand romance, but emotional suffocation. Adapted from Anthony Trollope, the story explores marriage as a psychological battleground where pride and jealousy slowly poison love. What begins as polite disagreement escalates into obsession and emotional cruelty. The BBC production leans into realism rather than melodrama, making every argument uncomfortable and human. Performances feel modern despite the corsets and drawing rooms. It is quiet, relentless, and devastating. This is a period drama that understands how pride can destroy lives without a single dramatic explosion. Number 14, The Way We Live Now, 2001. This biting satire exposes Victorian high society as a playground for fraud, greed, and social climbing. At its center is a charismatic con man who manipulates everyone from politicians to debutantes. The BBC adaptation is fast-paced, sharp-tongued, and surprisingly relevant. It explores market crashes, political corruption, and celebrity culture long before those terms felt modern. Lavish costumes mask moral rot beneath the surface. This is not a comforting period drama. It is a warning dressed in silk and top hats. Number 13, Little Dorrit, 2008. One of the BBC's most emotionally exhausting Dickens adaptations. Set around debtors' prisons and bureaucratic cruelty, it follows a young woman born into incarceration. The series balances personal suffering with institutional madness, showing how systems crush the poor while protecting the powerful. Performances are restrained yet deeply moving. The scale is epic, but the emotional focus stays intimate. This is Dickens without sentimentality, bleak, slow, and quietly furious. A masterpiece many viewers skipped because it demanded patience and attention. Number 12, Our Mutual Friend, 1998. This adaptation turns inheritance into a gothic mystery. A fortune literally pulled from the river triggers obsession, greed, and moral decay. The BBC leans into atmosphere, foggy streets, dim interiors, and characters hiding secrets behind polite smiles. What makes it special is its ensemble cast. Every subplot feels alive. Love is transactional, charity is performative, money corrupts everything it touches. This is Victorian London as a moral swamp. Rich, slow, and deeply underrated. Number 11, Madame Bovary, 2000. A rare BBC venture outside England, this adaptation captures the suffocating boredom of provincial France. Emma Bovary dreams of romance and luxury, but is trapped in a dull marriage. The series treats her not as a villain, but as a casualty of fantasy and repression. Every longing glance and impulsive decision carries weight. The pacing is deliberate, allowing disillusionment to creep in slowly. It is intimate, tragic, and uncomfortable. A psychological character study disguised as period romance. Number 10, Martin Chuzzlewit, 1994. This is one of the BBC's sharpest and most cynical Dickens adaptations, yet it remains strangely ignored. The story dismantles false morality, exposing greed, hypocrisy, and self-interest, hiding behind polite Victorian manners. What makes this series stand out is its tonal bravery. Comedy turns acidic without warning, and moral lessons arrive bruised rather than comforting. The American episodes feel chaotic and unromantic, deliberately undercutting the dream of opportunity. Performances lean into exaggeration while keeping emotional consequences grounded. It is Dickens stripped of sentiment and sharpened into social critique. Number 9, Middlemarch, 1994. Middlemarch is not built on twists or spectacle. It is built on observation. This adaptation treats everyday life as the drama itself, focusing on quiet ambition, failed reform, and marriages that slowly suffocate hope. The BBC allows scenes to linger, trusting the audience to feel unspoken disappointment. Every character believes they are reasonable, yet nearly all are trapped by pride and compromise. The pace is slow but purposeful, rewarding patience with emotional depth. It feels less like television and more like lived experience unfolding in real time. Number 8. Bleak House, 2005. This adaptation shocked audiences by refusing to feel traditional. Fast editing, handheld cameras, and oppressive interiors make Victorian London feel suffocating and modern. At its center is a legal case so endless it destroys lives without ever delivering justice. The BBC presents bureaucracy as horror, not procedure. Characters age emotionally before they age physically. Hope erodes scene by scene. Some viewers rejected its style, but those who stayed experienced something rare. Dickens reimagined as relentless psychological pressure rather than cozy period comfort. Number 7. Cranford, 2007. Cranford appears gentle, but its themes are quietly devastating. Set in a small, female-dominated town, it explores fear of poverty, loss of status, and survival through politeness. The BBC focuses on emotional restraint, where kindness masks anxiety and humor hides desperation. There are no villains, only women navigating shrinking social power. Change arrives slowly, yet inevitably. The drama finds weight in glances, silences, and traditions breaking apart. It is warm without being sentimental, and sad without being cruel. A deceptively profound series. Number 6. Emma, 1972. This stripped-down adaptation removes visual luxury and forces focus onto character, psychology. Without ornate sets or sweeping music, Emma's flaws become sharper and less charming. The BBC presents social manipulation as emotional control rather than playful matchmaking. Dialogue carries the weight. Awkward pauses matter. Class tension feels uncomfortable instead of romantic. Modern viewers often overlook this version, but it captures Austen's social cruelty with rare honesty. This is Emma without reassurance and without gloss, revealing the cost of privilege and interference. Number 5. Lark Rise to Candleford, 2008. Often mistaken for cozy background television, this series is actually about erosion and loss. Set in rural England, it captures a society quietly disappearing under the pressure of progress. Traditions fade, jobs vanish, and identities shift without ceremony. The BBC treats change as something felt rather than announced. Characters cling to customs because they fear what comes next. Hope exists, but it is fragile. The writing values reflection over drama, allowing emotional weight to accumulate naturally. Beneath its warmth lies a story about the end of an era and the uncertainty that replaces it. Number 4. Tess of the D'Urbervilles, 2008. This adaptation refuses to soften Hardy's tragedy. Tess is portrayed not as a romantic figure, but as a woman crushed by moral hypocrisy and rigid social codes. The BBC strips the story of comfort, leaving only inevitability. Beauty offers no protection. Virtue provides no escape. Performances are restrained yet devastating, allowing injustice to speak for itself. Landscapes feel indifferent to suffering, reinforcing the cruelty of fate. It is a difficult watch by design, a period drama that demands empathy rather than offering escapism. Number 3. The Barchester Chronicles, 1982. This series transforms church politics into gripping psychological drama. Power is pursued through politeness sermons and social maneuvering rather than confrontation. The BBC trusts subtle performances, letting ambition simmer beneath civility. No one appears cruel, yet everyone protects their position. The writing exposes how institutions reward compromise over integrity. Modern audiences often miss it because nothing explodes. But tension lives in every conversation. This is prestige television before prestige television had a name. Intelligent, restrained, and quietly ruthless. Number 2. The Mayor of Casterbridge, 1978. One reckless decision ruins a man's life over decades. This adaptation captures Hardy's obsession with regret, pride, and fate. The central performance is restrained yet volcanic, showing a man slowly undone by his own nature. Redemption is offered, then withdrawn. The town becomes both witness and judge. The BBC allows time to do its damage, making the final outcome feel unavoidable. This is not tragedy built on coincidence, but on character. bleak, powerful, and emotionally exhausting. Number 1. Land Girls, 2009. Overshadowed by battlefield dramas, this series focuses on the quiet revolution of women during World War II. Young women leave sheltered lives to work the land, gaining independence at personal cost. The BBC balances warmth with uncertainty, showing freedom and fear side by side. Romance is secondary to survival and self-discovery. Social rules bend under pressure. Identity reshapes through labor and responsibility. It is a war story without combat, yet full of transformation, human grounded and deeply overlooked. And these dramas didn't disappear because they failed. They disappeared because they demanded patience. If you're tired of safe, familiar period television, these hidden BBC gems reward attention with depth and honesty. Like, subscribe, and tell us which forgotten period drama deserves a full deep dive next.